Let's talk about the DOJ and reasonable accommodation. Again, I took notes, so here we go. Another group of DOJ employees, different from the ones that I reported a couple of days ago, is saying that the DOJ isn't evaluating any telework requests on a case by case basis as required by law. Instead, they allege that the agency is effectively denying telework requests across the board. Here's where the issue is. So reasonable accommodation is something that we see both in the ADA, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act. We also see it in Title VII of Civil Rights Act. The reason why we see it with the ADA is because it's a legal requirement that jobs give both applicants and employees accommodations that are reasonable in order for them to do their job. This can include a modified schedule or specialized equipment, additional breaks, accessible workspaces, and in some cases, telework. Now, the law doesn't require that every request is just approved. It has to be reasonable, which means that it has to be reviewed to see if that person's disability or accommodation request would hinder or harm the business or regular operations in any type of way. It requires them to participate in a process which is called an interactive process, which is basically where they're sitting down, reviewing the employee's needs, considering medical documentation, determining if this accommodation can be created without making any type of undue hardship for the organization. The problem here is the DOJ isn't even considering it. It's an automatic no. Accommodations have to be evaluated. They have to be evaluated individually. The other day, I told you that they denied accommodation requests for a disabled veteran as well as someone who has a spinal issue due to a drunk driving accident that was not his fault. And now we're dealing with a person who has type 1 diabetes and severe migraines. She had a previously approved request or accommodation to work remotely. And she says working from home helped her manage medical emergencies and her blood sugar fluctuations. After the policy changed, her telework request was denied. She was ordered back into the office. According to the lawsuit, she has since used hundreds of hours of leave as her symptoms have worsened. Other plaintiff that had stage 4 lung cancer, she had an approved telework accommodation. It was later revoked. The lawsuit says that she has been forced to rely on leave while fighting cancer because her request to continue working remotely was denied. Federal agencies are required to provide reasonable accommodations to qualified employees with disabilities unless doing so creates a hardship. This lawsuit alleges that they're not even checking to see if it's a hardship. It's an automatic no. The DOJ, once again, has declined to comment. So this is now 4 DOJ employees that we know of that have potentially been discriminated against due to their ADA rights. That ain't legal.